Holy hell, if Sony didn't redeem themselves for the January month of PlayStation Plus that so many people were upset about with Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, and Goat Simulator with the month of February, I don't really know what you guys are expecting, and you guys might never be happy, but I think February is one of the best months they ever did, especially if you have PlayStation VR. Obviously, not a lot of you guys do. 5 million sold on PSVR versus the 106 million that have been sold of PlayStation 4s, but even with the two front-running games, it is a very, very good month, and I would highly recommend you guys to have a PlayStation Plus subscription if you don't already own both of those titles. We have Bioshock the Collection, we have The Sims 4, and we have Firewall 0 Hour, so let's talk a little bit about each of these games because they will be the freebies in the month of February. Bioshock the Collection is obviously phenomenal. You get Bioshock 1, you get Bioshock 2, and you get Bioshock Infinite. Three phenomenal games. Bioshock was one of those trilogies that I feel like everybody absolutely adored. Bioshock 1 is an excellent game. Bioshock 2, some people don't think it's quite as good as the other two titles, but I still thought Bioshock 2 was an excellent game. And then Bioshock Infinite is a tremendous game. I love the setting of Bioshock Infinite. I thought it was a great change of pace from the first two titles, while also still offering that same core gameplay mechanic that we know and love. And that's really one of Bioshock's strong suit, is the excellent gameplay. If you're talking about first-person shooters with awesome gameplay, there are few that are up to the quality level of Bioshock. It just plays really, really well, and it's very satisfying in motion and to actually feel the shooting mechanics and everything like that. To give you guys an idea of how well these games have been received, over on Metacritic, if you look on Bioshock 1, the Xbox 360 version has a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic. That is insane. The PC version also has a 96, and then the PS3 version, which did release a little bit after, has a very, very impressive 94. We're talking IGN giving it a 9.7 out of 10, Game Informer giving it a 10 out of 10, EGM giving it a 10 out of 10, Eurogamer 10 out of 10, PC Gamer 95%. It just got stellar reviews across the board, and it's one of the most iconic games of all time. Then you have Bioshock 2. Again, this is the game that isn't as well received as Bioshock 1 or Bioshock Infinite, but a fantastic game in its own right, and I completed it start to finish, and I had a great time with it. Bioshock 2 has an 88 out of 100 on Metacritic, and you're talking an 8.25 out of 10 from Game Informer, a 9.1 out of 10 from IGN, a 10 out of 10 from Games Radar, a 35 out of 40 from Famitsu. Edge Magazine gave it an 8 out of 10. So when you're talking about scores like that, and you're talking about Bioshock 2 being the lesser received Bioshock game, what does that really say? It's still a phenomenal game, and it really just elevates the quality level of the entire franchise. So Bioshock 2, also a fantastic game. And then you have Bioshock Infinite. Again, I love the change of pace and the setting with Bioshock Infinite, taking place in a flying steampunk city of Columbia, set in 1912, and it's a homage to the female personification of the United States. The naming of the city-state, that is, and it's a fantastic game. Again, Bioshock Infinite, even more so than Bioshock 1 and 2, I think has even better gameplay. It has even more satisfying gameplay, and some of the elements that they have in this game is tremendous, and I would say from a narrative standpoint, all three of the games are incredibly strong, but I would put Bioshock Infinite at a level higher than the other two titles. And once again, another game that was incredibly well received. 96 out of 100 on PlayStation 3 when you're talking about game ranking score. 93 on PC, 92 on Xbox 360, 94 on Metacritic, 94 on Metacritic on PC, and then 93 on 360. IGN gave it a 9.5 out of 10. GameSpot, 9 out of 10. Game Informer, 10 out of 10. Edge Magazine, 9 out of 10. This game is phenomenal, and if you've never played the Bioshock games, man, you are in for a treat because you are getting three phenomenal games here with the Bioshock Collection. Each of these games are around 8 to 10 hours long, so they're not super lengthy, but let's be real, with a billion open world games coming out and every game, you know, trying to shove in as much content as humanly possible, sometimes it's nice to get a game that's a little bit shorter, a little bit more concise, and that's exactly what Bioshock is going to offer you. And you get three games here. If you want to go through all of them, that's going to be 30 to 35 hours of content, especially if you want to discover everything and whatever the case may be. They are phenomenal first-person shooters. Obviously, single-player only. The multiplayer component from Bioshock 2 is not included in the collection, but that's not a big deal. You're going into these games for the single-player campaign, and I can't be more happy with Bioshock the Collection, so that is a great offering. Also, you are getting a game that I think acts as a fantastic complementary title to Bioshock the Collection, something a little bit more different, something of a little bit of a different style, and that is The Sims 4. Now, I know The Sims 4 has its fair share of issues. It's not the best received with its PlayStation 4 version, but you are still getting a authentic Sims experience, so that is always nice. And again, if you're talking about a game that's different than what's offered on Bioshock the Collection in terms of experience and gameplay style, I feel like The Sims 4 gives you something like that. I think if Sims 4 was the highlighting experience and it was the only game and then you got a smaller game or whatever as a secondary title, people would be upset. However, in the case of Sims 4, as a complimentary title, I think some people are really going to enjoy checking it out just because it's different than the games that they typically play on PS4. And if you somehow live under a rock, The Sims 4 is a life simulation game similar to its predecessors. Players create a sim character and control their life to explore different personalities, which change the way the game plays out. Sims can now multitask. Sims moodlets also change the gameplay by influencing the Sims' emotional states, introducing new interaction options. Now, this is a game with a ton of DLC content as well. You are getting just the base game, so that's a little bit of a bummer. You are extending the experience a lot if you have all of the DLC, but it's a Sims experience and you still get a reasonable amount of stuff to do when you do play the game right out of the gate, so that is really good. And given that you do get Bioshock the Collection on top of The Sims 4, I feel like this is an even better offering. And while the game wasn't the best received for the PlayStation 4 version, given that it is a freebie on PlayStation Plus, I think a lot more people will be accepting of it. And the game does have a 70 on Metascore. However, the user score is a 4.1, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but hey, you're not paying for it. You're getting a Sims experience like this just by having PlayStation Plus. And as a complimentary title to Bioshock Infinite, I do think it's quite good. And lastly, for PlayStation VR owners, you are also getting one of the best VR games. Some would say it's the best. I don't know if I would go that far, but Firewall 0 Hour is available as a Plus title in the month of February. That is awesome because I believe they've offered this game as like a free trial before to Plus subscribers, so now they're going all in and they're just giving you the entirety of the game, which is fantastic. Firewall 0 Hour is a fantastic game. A lot of people will say it's Rainbow Six with VR, and yeah, I can definitely understand that comparison. It's a tactics-based shooter. It's an online virtual reality tactical action shooter where players called contractors take on contracts issued from agents who are known as Mother and Father. Each contractor has a different passive skill for the use on the field, which can help support the player fend off the enemy team from completing their objective. There are 12 contractors players can choose from, all with a set primary skill and a secondary skill. You can edit weapon loadouts are also customizable, where players can pick a primary weapon, secondary weapon, one lethal equipment, and one non-lethal equipment. Taking on contracts, players will receive experience for certain actions they complete, as well as earning in-game currency known as crypto, where both can be found scattered around the map or completing the contract, and then you can buy more stuff and things like that. Firewall 0 Hour is a game that First Contact Entertainment, the developers behind the game, have been incredibly committed to, so if you do have a PlayStation VR headset, you have yet to check this out, man, you gotta jump in. And the great thing about it, it's a multiplayer-centric title. If you have buddies that have a VR headset, hey, you can all jump in together. The only thing is, if you have a PlayStation VR headset, it's that long-running issue with, PlayStation Plus, is that you probably own Firewall 0 Hour. Firewall 0 Hour is one of those iconic games on VR that if you are a VR owner, that's one of those games that everybody talks about, and I feel like everybody should already own the game. But for whatever reason, if you don't, this is a great offering, and maybe you're the kind of person that's looking to get into VR. Hey, Firewall 0 Hour, having it in your library, that's a great reason to go ahead and buy the VR headset too. It at least makes it a little bit more enticing. And hey, add it to your library now. Maybe sometime down the line you do pick up the VR headset and you'll have Firewall 0 Hour ready to go. Definitely no reason to let this one slide. And to add it on top of the two games that you're already getting, I would have said, hey, that's a little bit of a bummer, because if we look at the statistic, 5 million VR headsets sold, and then you've got 106 million PlayStation 4s sold, and out there in the wild, that's a little bit of a bummer. Only 1 out of 20 people or so, let's say 1 out of 15 if people have repeat bought PS4s, are going to be able to experience Firewall 0 Hour. But hey, they're trying to sell you on VR headsets, offering a Plus game as a freebie that is a high quality VR game. That is a great idea. So that is the Plus offerings for the month of February. I think a tremendous month. I think if you complain about a month like this, I really don't know what to say. Bioshock the Collection is tremendous. You're getting 3 phenomenal first-person shooters in there, and I know this is one that some of you guys missed out on. It's not like Uncharted, where Uncharted is so iconic and it's such a big franchise that everybody's has Uncharted and Nathan Drake Collection. I know a lot of you guys have missed out on Bioshock the Collection, and I even believe that in the comments section of my what we would like to see for Plus games in the month of February, a lot of people did comment Bioshock the Collection, so hey, your wishes and prayers have been answered with this one. The Sims 4, again, not the best received on PlayStation 4, but to see it available, that is also a good addition. And Firewall 0 Hour, for those of you that own PlayStation VR or you plan on getting PlayStation VR, if you already own it, you probably already own Firewall 0 Hour as well, but for whatever reason, if you don't, a great addition as well. So 3 top-tier titles. I don't know if Sims 4 is a top-tier title, but 2 top-tier titles in Sims 4 as another complimentary game. I think a great month, and I think everybody should be satisfied when you should be spending just $3 and change for your PlayStation Plus subscription. $3 and change a month, that is. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.